Okay, so after watching various YouTube videos and gone through various gaming websites and regarding Capcom's new game, Project Resistance, which is obviously, in my opinion, judging from what I've seen, is going to be another spin off to the Resident Evil franchise, stemming from the Resident Evil franchise, that is. So, what to expect. I'm definitely leaning towards a co op game, something set within the universe of the Resident Evil, very similar to what we got with the Outbreak series. I know a lot of you are thinking Outbreak 3. I highly doubt it. This is more of a spiritual successor to that series because, as you know, the first game was good, but then the second game, it just kind of just was not, it was very mediocre and very silly in a lot of areas, and it just didn't work at all. So, what are my thoughts so far? Well, it'd be interesting to have more co-op games set into the Resident Evil, series. I know that. However, keep in mind the problem is this series has lost its way a few times. Case in point was Resident Evil 6, and dare I say Resident Evil 7, which really had nothing to do with the franchise. The only connection was Chris showing up at the end and the DLC with Chris, and that was pretty much it. Um, like many, I'm kind of disappointed. I was kind of hoping we would get a Resident Evil 3 remake, considering the fact that, they still have the map, they still have the outlines from the Resident Evil 2 remake. A lot of people were anticipating Resident Evil 8. Sadly, I don't think we're going to get one anytime soon. I think and also a lot of people were hoping for Revelations 3. I know Capcom's been teasing that for a while. That would be definitely, I'd love to see a conclusion to that series. So, but I'm thinking that this is going to be more, like I said, I'm leaning towards an arcade type of game here. More like arcade kind of multiplayer type of series. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm not completely against it, but I just hope this just doesn't lose its way where it's just starts off as horror, but then it just goes action, action, action. That'll be my only concern. Now, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy playing Resident Evil 6 now and then. That's just me, because it's a fun co-op game, the game, but I bet the criticisms for it are justifiable, and I understand that. So, we haven't heard anything yet. I mean, up September 9th, we're going to find out. But to me, this kind of comes off as filler. Now, keep in mind, in Japan, Capcom has released a game called Valiant Raid, which is similar to that of Operation Raccoon City. Now, Operation Raccoon City wasn't the greatest, but that's what I got from it. It'd be nice to see that here. But I get the feeling we're probably not going to get the RE3 remake for another year or two. I could be wrong. And I think they are going to sit on the Resident Evil 8 till they know where they're going to go, obviously, because that's the main series. But you also got to keep in mind the main series has always been the biggest seller in the franchise, 1 through 7. And obviously the remake of Resident Evil 2. I mean, the other games don't sell as much. They sell, but not as much as they're not as big or as recognized as, say, the main series is. So I think that's what, I'm thinking they'll definitely try to turn this into a series, but my only concern is they've tried spin-offs before in the past and they've backfired. I just hope that Capcom has learned from their mistakes and puts a lot more focus into these spin-offs because they have potential, but they don't quite reach them. That's always been the problem with a lot of their spin-off series. If you look back at the Resident Evil franchise as a whole from top to bottom, I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, this series has had the odd dud and the odd misfire too, but it's been very resilient. I mean, it always has a funny way of coming back. I mean, they made a big comeback with Resident Evil 4. They knocked it out of the park with Resident Evil 5. Even though Resident Evil 6 wasn't the most well received, still sold a lot, still made a lot of money. And same could be said for Resident Evil 7. I know people were split on that. I didn't really like it as much as many other people did. Some people did, some people didn't. I felt kind of disappointed with that one, but that's another story for another time. But I'll definitely keep an eye on this. I'll definitely will be watching on September 9th to see what obviously we're gonna get some gameplay footage, but till then, let me know what your thoughts are. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Take care, everyone.